Welcome back to another episode of Four Winds Podcast. We're back here with the Toko Bills, aka La Pila Lolo here.
Good evening.
Sup, Toko?
Good evening. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good. Can you hear me good?
Yes.
Alright.
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh,
Can
nice,
you hear
nice.
me?
Yeah, I can hear ya. We're grateful to have you back on, Toko. We'll get into it, eh?
Sure, man.
All right.
Sure.
Today we didn't actually have anything planned. We're just gonna wing it.
Just winging it,
Just
man.
wing it, you know, have a yarn,
Yeah.
have a good catch up with the Toko.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, man.
And as we mentioned in the previous episode, we're both PKs. We're both pastors' kids.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And we're just gonna talk. We're just gonna have a chop it up, see what it was like. You know, the pressures of it, the kind of life we lived. What do you reckon was the biggest challenges being a PK? What's your take on it?
The challenges of being a pastor's kid. There's definitely... With pastors' kids, there's definitely an expectation. You know, there's whether you like it or not, there's a certain expectation, and that expectation also is expected of your parents as well, or whoever is going to be the pastor. You
Yeah.
know, how long have I known you for? We've known each other for a while
For
now.
a long
hey?
time, yeah, since we're kids.
Yeah, and for as long as I've known Webster, his father has been a pastor while my mother was studying. Now, my story might be a little bit different to Webster's because on my hand, my mother was the one who took the journey to do theology. So even that in itself is very unheard of because there are rarely any ministers who are women.
Yeah.
Well, back then, you know,
Especially amongst the Tongan community, eh?
especially amongst the Tongan community, man. You can almost say that it's taboo, you know,
Yeah.
for like women to hold those certain types of roles in our
Yeah.
culture. True.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. So I think there's a certain expectation for kids of a pastor because, you know, as they commit their lives to lead in ministry, you are also expected to do the same as well and be straighty 180
Exactly.
and be perfect and not ever have a hiccup, man. So
Especially being a pastor's kid, you just have all the eyes are just on you, eh?
yeah, mate.
As soon as you make a wrong move, especially in the Tongan community, they start talking about your dad or about your mom. They're gonna start saying, "Oh, these are the pastor's kids."
Yeah, that definitely happens, you know. Do you still remember the Avondale journey, you know, with your father in Avondale and growing up in Avondale for whatever years it was?
Yep.
Yeah.
I was still very young. I was about maybe 4 or 5 when
Yeah.
we had left, but I do briefly remember being there, living on Nappy Valley.
Oh, Nappy
Playing
Valley.
with the kids, yeah.
Nappy Valley, mate, in Avondale.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still remember Nappy Valley, man.
That street is notorious for young pastors with kids living there.
Yeah.
Or young students, theology students. Whenever they study at Avondale, it's notorious for them living on Nappy Valley because of, you know, cheap student rates or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Nappy Valley is almost like the Hausa area.
That's like the Hausa area.
Yeah.
Amongst the Ahofitus, eh?
Yeah, it's accommodation that they give to families, eh?
Yeah, and it is very helpful, eh?
Yeah.
Like it's definitely helped a lot of pastors get through their studies, having affordable housing.
Was there a lot of Tongans when you were there?
Not really, eh? You know, when we were there, I think it was mostly Samoan, like a few Samoans there.
Yeah.
But I think from memory, my dad was the only Tongan pastor studying at that time, which would have been the early 2000s, or probably late 90s, actually.
Yeah, because when we came, like around 03, 04, you guys were already back in Sydney.
Yeah, so my dad had already finished his studies by that time.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he was the pastor already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whether that be at Bidwill, Auburn, or the Kemba. But we'd already finished that Avondale by that time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do remember it. I do remember going through it. But obviously not as much as you, because you would have been a bit older when you were at Avondale.
Yeah, so we finished up around 2010. I think that's around the time that my mother had finished all of her studies and stuff. But man, the whole journey, like, it's the ultimate sacrifice.
Bruh, 100%.
True.
Yeah.
Like, even just thinking about watching, you know, my parents and my mother, when we ended up coming to Avondale, you know, we were fortunate enough to not have a lot, but we didn't have, you know, nothing.
Yeah.
You know, when we were back in New Zealand. So for us to unroot ourselves from comfort, so to speak, and move over to Australia, Newcastle, you know, because my mum told me she got the call. Us as kids, I'll tell you now, we were completely oblivious to it. Like, we didn't understand it back then. We didn't understand how my mother could just leave her life. We were set up and just give everything to come and serve. You know, when you're young, you just think, oh, I want to be with my family. I want to be with, you know, my friends that I grew up with. So, you know, the ultimate sacrifice, you know, just following your parents and coming and following them, man, and following them down the road of them wanting to serve and minister as well.
Yeah.
So that was very interesting, to say the least, man.
Yeah.
But I will say, you know, one thing that I learned from my mum jumping in that time was she was chasing a dream.
Yeah. 100%.
You know, so that was probably one of the first things that was instilled into me. I just thought, my mum's still chasing a dream at 40 years old. That just tells me anything is possible.
Exactly.
You know, like, it's never too late, true?
Some people, they think once they reach a certain age, whether that be 30s, 40s, all right, it's too late now.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to give up. I'm just going to call it, and I'm going to instill my dreams on my kids.
Yeah.
But that's what I love about your mum as well. And even my dad, I'm sure he started late.
Bro, 100%. Like, everybody who's gone through that, because our theology back then was taken by a lot of mature people.
Yeah.
You know, there wasn't a lot of young people like today.
Yeah, it's crazy today.
Yeah. Like, I've even met like youth pastors, you know, just a lot of young people who are willing to, you know, put their hand up and say, you know, pick me, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, that's true. Back then there was a lot more mature people when it came to study, but a lot of kids, there's a lot of young people, early 20s pastors, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all studying, and it's mad. I love to see it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They have that passion at a young age.
Yeah, man.
But getting back to like what you were saying before, you were saying how it was almost taboo to have women pastors, eh? Right. The funny thing is, the only two women
100%.
pastors that I know, their last name is Lolo.
I knew you were going to say that. That's Carlos auntie. The other one is Carlos auntie.
So it's your mum, Tankina Lolo here, and then you got Anna Lolo here.
Yeah. My auntie Anna Lolohea is now a pastor as well. But you're so right. Do you think like it being so foreign, do you think it has a culture like basis tied to it, or do you think it's just basically the Seventh-day Adventist Church had never ever seen? You know, like, do you think like, where do you think that taboo comes from?
I think it's both culture based.
Yeah.
I think it's a mixture of everything.
Yeah.
So you got the Adventist aspect where there's you've seen you've probably seen it in previous years where there's been that big debate on the ordination of women. You know? There's been that big debate on it, and they've had it. I think it was the 2015 General Conference. It was a big topic, and it always comes up when they talk about it in their general conferences. Yeah, but I think it's based off it's biblical. You know what I mean? Something where women shouldn't speak in the church. There's like Bible verses. I think it's some of Paul's writings. I can't quote it off memory, but I do know it's based off. They get that based off the Bible, what it's saying, and
Yeah.
but you know the way that people interpret it, it's everyone has different interpretations for it,
Yeah.
and different takes on when it comes to women pastors.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is. And then there's that culture aspect as well, the Tongan culture.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just, you know, all of those things. But even with all those, you know, those negative, like those negative views on it, on women pastors, I love that never stopped your mum from wanting to serve, you know, as a pastor. You said she moved over from New Zealand because she wanted to serve.
Yeah.
And I love that, you know, even though it's looked at in that certain way by everyone in different cultures and backgrounds. Like that never stopped her from wanting to serve, and that never stopped her from wanting to do God's work, you know?
Yeah, 100%, man. I feel like when you get the call, man, you just know. You know what I mean? And however you explore that calling, man, is on you.
Yeah.
It's not on God. But when God calls, you know, you just say where
Exactly.
and when. Where and when I'm ready.
Here I am,
know?
send me. Eh? Isaiah.
Yeah, you know. And one of the biggest things, you know, just navigating that with mum, becoming a pastor, and us growing up in, you know, a country town like that we'd never ever seen before. Like a lot of white kids as well. You know, one thing that was new to me as well, I had to start wearing shoes to school. Yeah.
You weren't wearing shoes in New Zealand?
Well, you know, by the end of the day, everyone's running around in bare feet, you know?
True,
So,
yeah.
and even like in the shopping centers and on the roads and stuff, it's not uncommon, you know? So there was a lot of things that had opened up our eyes to the way that, you know, we adapt here to Australia. One of the vaguest memories I still remember, well, one of the biggest memories that I still remember with my mum is, I still remember we had to clean like 2 or 3 nights a week, and we had to clean toilets just so my mum could like bump her fees. So there was things that you could do, like, you know, to work your fees off and stuff, because it's not cheap. It's expensive to go to college and go through the whole journey. And all of us were in Avondale as well. So there was 4 kids in the Avondale schools, as well as my mother as well. So when I say sacrifice, yeah, that's me being friendly about it. It was the ultimate sacrifice. You know?
That's crazy.
You can only think of some nights where we're just like, yeah, I'm a bit hungry.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So when you go through those struggles,
You know.
yeah, it's tough, but it makes it that much sweeter when she graduated and when she had that recognition for pastoring at Bidwill for all those years last year.
Yeah.
So those moments just become that extra special when you think about those times, eh?
Yeah, man. So if where my mum ended up doing most of her time and her service in the community was at Bidwill SDA church, which is obviously in Mount Druitt. We basically took over after your father was done, because your father was there for a while as well. And then, you know, he came down and done bigger things in Hoxton Park and Sydney Tongan, and then we moved up and settled up in Mount Druitt there. And yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting. Not only when we were young, but I think as we grew up in our youthful years, that was when it got very interesting for me too. Because from my perspective, being a pastor's kid, I explored the world. I explored the world at my own expense.
Sometimes us as PKs, we're told what to do or what not to do, not because of its consequences or not because of the outcome, but because we're the pastor's kid and people are watching.
Yeah,
I don't know if it would have been the same for you, but that's what it seemed like for me. Sometimes there was it was more trying to protect a certain image of the pastor's family or the pastor's kids.
Yeah, like I'll take it if it came from my parents.
Yeah.
You know, like I'll take it if it came from my father. But you know, when you start, and even when you hear it in third person, it's even worse.
Yeah.
You know, when you hear that it came from someone else or it came from something else, it's definitely that expectation, you know. Let's not forget that, you know, even if it was our parents, it's their dream. It wasn't ours. We're just the family.
Exactly.
We're just the family with the person who was called to serve, you know. But then the expectation falls on the whole family because it's such a high position. I feel like it's such a high position in the community, and in the community you're almost a beacon of light. You know what I mean? And one thing that I struggled with is just trying to understand grace. You know, and especially from a young age.
Yeah.
You know, my mother and your father, you know, they, even being pastors as well, they have to deal with a lot of things in the community because they are they're in the community. So, you know, when people come with their conflict and their issues and stuff, there's a level of grace that they must have as a leader. You know,
for sure.
To guide people in all of their journey, so to speak, as well. You know, us growing up in a first world country, our parents grew up in a different era, generation, time. It plays a big role because we're surrounded by a lot more. We're not just surrounded by coconut trees and you know. So, you know, when you grow up with your friends, everyone's doing this and that. And there's almost a sense of FOMO that you don't want to miss out on what your best mate's doing, or you don't want to miss out on this, or there's a certain image to uphold. Oh, I'll just go to church here, but I'll go somewhere after. Yeah. You know what I mean? Exactly what you were talking about, you know. There's that level of interest growing up, like it never left me, and I'll be the first to admit, man, I went the other way for a while. You know, I wanted to go out into the world. I wanted to explore. I obviously wanted to explore what was out there in the world, what I could do, what my mates were doing, you know, whether it be money, whether it be socializing. There's a certain level of expectation as pastors' kids, you know. You have to be perfect. You have to do this. You have to do that. And then they expect us to react the same way our parents are going to react. You know?
Exactly.
And it's funny though, because even though, you know, we explored and navigated life, in the back of my head, I still knew what Saturday was to me. You know, like I always knew Saturday is church. You know, Friday night, you turn the TV off, you have kamata sapate. And then, you know.
I think that's the beautiful thing though about the tradition. It brings the family together during the Sabbath. You know? Because there's a lot of people, like non-Christians, they rarely have that time to bring everyone together, you know? Whereas us...
Well, there's no reason.
There's no reason, unless there's a wedding on, unless there's a funeral. But with us, it's an occasion every week. It's a beautiful occasion, the Sabbath, to come together as a family. And just, you know, spend that time together. That's the beautiful thing about that.
No, it's 100% the best, man.
You know, you were just saying, as you grew up as a PK, it wasn't always, you know, sunflowers and rainbows and beautiful things. You went through a stage where you tried to seek, or not seek, you tried different things, you know? Like, did you want to talk about that? Did you, with the kind of lifestyle that you drifted into growing up, do you think it had any impact on your mother's ministry? Do you think that it was like there was any consequences from, or like did it affect her ministry at all in any way, or?
I think it didn't. It did affect her ministry, but I feel like it affected her more personally.
Yeah, true.
You know, obviously your mother's going to come and she's going to expect you guys to come and help and assist as well. And let me make one thing clear: the life of service, it's full on, man. Like it's absolutely full on. Like,
and it's not a one-man job, eh?
Mate, it's not a one-man job, man, and it's full on. Like, I mean, there's just things every single week that you have to show up to, no matter how you feel. If you're feeling sick, if you're feeling down, there is people still expecting you to show up and keep guiding us along.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I know you guys are in the same boat. Like, it felt
100%.
like, bro, it felt like at one point in my life, it felt like our house was like revolving doors, mate. Like, we just had people all the time. True. Like, people just show up all the time, no matter how you feel, you know, like they just keep showing up with their problems, or you have to go to funerals, you have to go to weddings.
Yeah, it's non-stop.
It's crazy. It's a lot. You know,
that's why, man, it is
with you
a
guys
big time
too.
job. Yeah, 100%. And you know, like on top of that, it's not only the life of a pastor. It seems like it's double effort for the life of a Tongan pastor. Because Palangi pastors probably wouldn't go through it as much, you know.
Yeah, they don't have that cultural aspect.
Yeah, and if you look at most Palangi churches, they're done after the main service. Sometimes they don't have lunch.
It's short and sweet.
It's short and sweet. You know.
And then if they go to like weddings and stuff, there's no ngatus, and there's no cakes or anything, or you know,
there's no week-long funerals.
Yeah, like it's, you know, when I look back at my mother's life, you know, what a sacrifice, not only in the start, but the whole journey as a whole, mate.
Yeah.
You know, no matter how they felt, they had to keep showing up. That's the position that they signed up for. And no matter how they felt, they had to react to every situation or go into every situation with grace.
Yeah, 100%.
Mate, you know, like they, no matter who's right or wrong, no matter who's up or down, left or right, you have to meet them in the middle and, you know, guide them along whatever they're dealing with and not judge one person, man.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that is, you know, that's crazy. I still remember one time, you know, my mum was sick, like just so sick, man. She was, you know, she had to go hospital and she said, I can't go hospital. We've got something on Sabbath.
Yeah, that's it.
Bro.
It's to a point where that life of service, that life of being a pastor comes before anything, including your own health.
Yeah,
including family sometimes, health. You know, there's these things where you have to sacrifice.
You have, you know, but you know, we also see that biblically in the way that Jesus lived his life as well.
Exactly.
You know, no matter who he was with or no matter what happened, he always had time and always had to show up as well.
Yeah.
For, you know, even the people who were so undeserving. You know, like let's look at the disciples. They weren't even competent, you know, to be in that position. They were fishermen, but God chose them.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, and yeah, just looking at that and reflecting on being a pastor's kid, it's full on, like it's a full life of service, man. You know, whether my mum went through the ranks and we all grew up, we all just done the same thing, helped in Pathfinders, helped in the youth, helped in the music ministry, just helped in singing, just helped wherever we could, no matter how we felt, because you're a pastor's kid.
You're a pastor's kid. Hey.
You're a pastor's kid.
Yeah. Nah, you know, you were saying before, when she started at Bidwill.
Yeah.
What year was that?
Man, that was, I don't know, man. It had to be around 2011 or 12.
Yeah, man. Honestly,
it was
bro,
a long time ago.
I love what your mom and your family has done for the Bidwill church, for the Bidwill community, man. It's, and the way that he has grown, the way that he has is just, it's inspiring to watch, eh? Because I remember, do you remember growing up when we used to look at Bidwill? The fancy marching and all that, you know.
Mate, Bidwill back then, man, they were firecracker, man.
They were firecracker.
I thought you were talking about the incident that happened in the car park.
All of that.
All the above.
Bro,
all the above.
Bro, do you know back in those days, when we had combines, we always used to punch on, bro.
I know.
It was just stupid. Every time you look at the kids of nowadays, they're not like, they don't have it like we did.
Oh yeah,
I swear,
man.
I don't know what it was. Probably we didn't have technology to keep us busy or something.
Yeah, or something, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, just
Because whenever we had combines, I'm sure everyone was ready for a fight. There's like, all right.
yeah.
Because every time there was a combine, there's always going to be a punch on or something.
And back then, everybody just pretty much just stayed in their church groups. Like it wasn't one like now.
Yeah.
You know, where all the branches we can have combines, we can have youth combines. Back then, it was just like Orange Church over there.
Yeah.
Lakemba
Church here. Bidwill Church there. You know?
And then you'll have me, Webster, Elisha, Nella, and the little young'uns running around just eyeing off the other, eyeing off the others, and then all it takes is just for one kid to either throw a rock or say something about like, you know, stuff your church, and it's on, like it's on, man.
But those were the days back then, man.
Yeah, it was the best times, man.
But the funny thing is, everyone that we used to punch on with or fight with, we're all like close and we're all good with each other now, whenever, and we just laugh about it.
Nah, everybody's a husband and father now, man. So we don't have time to fight with sticks and stones anymore, man. But yeah, there was definitely a lot of conflict growing up. But one thing I'm very grateful for the life of service is it unintentionally paved the way that I view the world leaving church, you know.
True.
Like there's a lot of people who talk to me and they just say you're so nice, and I don't intentionally mean to be nice, but that's almost just showing the morals that I grew up with without trying to show it.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And
yeah, that's beautiful.
you would be the same as well, you know, where people would look at us and there'll be certain situations now that we'll deal with where we deal with it not as reactive as before or not as reactive as someone else could be. And I feel like it's because of those fundamentals that we grew up with.
And like that verse that talks about raise a child in the right way and he'll never sway from it, you know, when he grows up. So those kind of morals and those morals that we grew up with, they're always going to be there with us. We always have it. And the way that we treat people it's just natural. It comes natural because 100%. That's the way that we were brought up.
That's the way we were brought up, you know. It didn't matter who entered your home. It didn't matter whose house you entered. You always entered it with manners and you always treated them the way you would want to be treated. True.
Yeah, bro, that's true. And the funny thing that I think about is even when we went through that phase of like just being in the world and getting wasted, go parties or go to randoms. Like even when I was going through that phase myself, it's true. I still treated people with respect. I was still like fair with everyone. I was always kind to people. Yeah, like always talking to them, like making sure you had time for people. Yeah, it was never I was never like mean to people. Obviously, if you have beef with someone, that's different.
Yeah, like if someone has a little stink, you know, towards you, then sometimes you will explore the stink.
You'll see what the smell is, eh?
You want to see what it smells like. You want to see that.
But in general, the way that we held ourselves, that was a testament to how we were brought up.
We were raised
being a pastor's kids. You know?
Yeah, like we always interacted with people, no matter who it was. It didn't matter who it was, man. We always said, "Hi, how are you? Are you okay? Do you want something to eat?" And that just comes back to how we were raised and how our parents lived that life of grace. So when they showed us that, like it became habit to us, you know, that life of service.
100%.
Are you okay? Or if someone comes and asks for help, you don't realize, but you literally stop and you go out of your way to assist them. Yeah. Yeah, but you know, it's funny too, because even when I decided to leave the church and not do anything in particular in terms of go and do worldly things, I just left the church and got stuck into, you know, trying to figure out what life really means to me, chasing my dreams, trying to be something of myself, you know. One of my biggest fears is like I want to see my potential as much as I want my parents to see it. Yeah. While they're here. You 100%. Know, and like, man, that runs rampant in my head every single day. Like it's it's chaos. So, even when I left the church, I didn't leave intentionally. I just left and done my own thing. And whenever I was in the area, I'd stop by a church, and just, when I could. But the funniest thing is when I go out into the world and I try and live and just chase the dream and try and become a better husband and try and provide and protect. When things get hard, I always try and just pause and just speak to God, man.
Yeah.
I always know that when life gets hard, you can always go back to church.
Not only you can always go back to church, God is always there.
God is always there,
And when you read his word, he tells you that there's nothing that can separate us from him.
100%, bro.
Even missing church for a few years, doing your own thing, that doesn't change what the word tells us.
100%.
That we are chosen, that we are his children, that we are loved.
Yeah. Nah, facts, bro. But I'm so grateful to grow up in a faith because I know when life gets hard, or even when life is good, I'm grateful. When life is hard, I'm grateful. When life is
Philippians
just as
4:12,
good, 100% I'm grateful.
That's it, bro.
And the funniest thing is, I left Sydney and, we're now settled down in Melbourne. Even though I left church, I found my way back.
Yeah.
Without any, with no one pressuring me, with just me coming back to church and just finding my way back.
Right, that's mad.
And it's good, man. It's good. So, I'm grateful for the sacrifice. I'm grateful for the sacrifice that not only did my mother make, your father made as well. Because, those morals are carrying us right now, bro.
100%.
And it's so good to come back to church, man.
Bro, when you told me you're back at church, man, I was so happy,
Yeah.
Because it's not so much just the thing, because the truth is, going to church is not what gets you favor with God, or that's not what's going to get you to heaven. It's realizing our identity in him, realizing, who we are in Christ.
100%, man. 100%.
And then if you feel convicted, if you feel that community is what uplifts you, that's when you start going to church.
Yeah.
And when you like you said, those morals that we were brought up on.
Yeah.
When you go to church and you're doing these things that you grew up, it just feels right. Hey.
Yeah. It does, man. It does, and then it comes with maturity as well.
Yeah.
It comes with maturity, man. But even going back to church, I'm not going back to church to seek redemption or anything like that. To me, a church is where the sick go for help.
Exactly.
That's the place where you go to, where everyone's sinners and we're just looking, we're looking for God, so to speak, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll read you this, Matthew 13, verse 44 to 46. The kingdom, it's called the parable of the hidden treasure and the pearl. You would have heard it. The kingdom of heaven is like a treasure hidden in a field. When a man found it, he hid it again, and then in his joy went and sold all he had and bought the field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant looking for fine pearls. When he found one of great value, he went away and sold everything he had and brought it. The reason why I'm reading that parable is because when I was growing up, when I read that parable, it's true. Like the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant looking for fine pearls. When he found one of great value, he went away and sold everything he had and brought it. So when I was growing up, I used to think that I had to give everything up in order to gain heaven. I had to sell everything that I had. I had to pretty much like live the perfect life. Like you have to give everything up.
Be perfection.
Yeah, perfection.
Be perfection. Yeah.
If anything that you do doesn't align with what your mind tells you God wants, then you're not going to get heaven. But then when I kept reading it, like I kept studying the gospel and understanding it, and it started to make sense to me. like in verse 37, he says, he answered, the one who sowed the good seed is the Son of Man. So what you can see is the man here, it's not talking about us being the person to go sell everything that we have in order to obtain that treasure or that pearl.
The ultimate,
It's actually talking about Jesus who gave everything up to obtain us, and we are that pearl. So that's what the kingdom of heaven is. You know, it's not so much we are giving everything up to obtain heaven. Because when I was growing up, heaven seemed like a distant thing.
It did. It just seemed like a big euphoria.
Yeah, it seemed like something where, man, I really hope, you know, and my salvation, Toko, when I was thinking about it, like, it was just almost impossible. Like I had to give everything up. I had to live the perfect life, and for me it felt like, man, you know, I really hope that one day I can get this. But if you read in 2 Corinthians 8 verse 9, it says, for you know the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, that though he was rich, yet for your sake he became poor, so that you through his poverty might become rich.
Love that.
See, that's your pearl.
Love that,
so there's a pearl literally
absolutely
here. That fine pearl is you, Toko. You know,
mad,
it's you, it's me, it's you guys. Whoever's watching, you are that fine pearl.
I love that, man.
So it is Jesus who gave everything up so that we may be with him in heaven when he comes to get us.
I like that, man.
So it's not so much what we need to do. And I said that to you before. The emphasis is more on what he has done for us.
100%.
And that shift of mindset has changed my life. It's made me like just realize, man, God does really love me, you know? And there's nothing that I can do from my end to repay him. He's already done it all. It's just accepting that gift that he's given us, you know?
Yo, facts, man. Facts. I love that.
All right, Toko. Why don't you share us a verse? Give us a gem. Something to...
A gem?
Yeah. Something to ponder on.
One of my favorite Bible verses is Philippians 4 verse 12. Now, we all know Philippians 4:13, which is I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. But if you come back one verse, Philippians 4 verse 12 says, I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want.
Wow.
Like,
bro, that's the beauty of it. Hey,
that's so deep, man.
And that's Paul here. He realized this identity in Jesus. Paul also was a legalist. He was a Pharisee, you know. So just to hear him at this, like being this content, bro. If you have Jesus, you have everything.
You do, man. You do.
What a gem.
Yeah. Thank you for today, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you.
I appreciate the Toko here. It's on. I appreciate the Toko coming here tonight because he actually has a flight in about 2 hours.
50 minutes.
50 minutes. All right, Toko. Appreciate you, Toko.
But I always got mad love for Webster, man. Like it's love and light to see you as a father and a husband and to where you've come from. And look, nothing but love, man.
Appreciate that, Toko.
Blessings to you, man. Love you, my brother.
Love you, my Toko. And soon, probably the next time I see ya, we're going to have little baby. If I don't see you before then.
No, we got a few episodes before that.
Yes.
We got a few episodes,
for sure, bro.
Thank you for having me
Appreciate
on,
it,
bro.
Toko. Thank you guys for watching. Ofatu.